To Alex Salmond, you remember, former leader of the SNP, First Minister of Scotland. He lost his seat in Westminster at the general election and is now moving on to the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, where he'll be appearing in August. Alex Salmond, what do you reckon? Will Theresa May be joining you on the Fringe next year?
Oh, I don't think she's long for this Prime Ministership. I think that's pretty obvious. I mean, you were saying that she hadn't answered a question, that how long was she going to be Prime Minister? Well, you can't answer that question because as soon as you answer it, then you cease to be a Prime Minister. I mean, she's got very limited authority right now.
Well, a lot of Tories are saying she'll stay for the Brexit process.
Yeah, sure, but the Prime Minister can't say that. I mean, as soon as you say, I'm going to be Prime Minister for 2 years, then you cease. Remember, even Tony Blair, who was a powerful Prime Minister, as soon as he put a timescale on his own departure, his authority disappeared. Now, she's got very little to start with. So, yeah, whether she could be a guest on my show, I'm not certain. I mean, we know we need to sell tickets.
Now, what about this Alex Salmond Unleashed, a festival of fun, friends and freedom? Yeah. Is this you going to stand up?
No, it's me going into alliteration, I think. I'm not a stand-up comedian, but there's stories you can tell, and obviously there are more stories you can tell out of office than you can in office. So there'll be a bit of storytelling, and then there'll be an interview, different guest every day. So it's a different show every day, and the guests won't disappoint, but they're top secret until people get there. They won't know who the guest is until it's unveiled.
Well, give us an idea of the range of guests you're going to have. Sean Connery?
Extensive. No, except they're from the world of politics, show business, sport. And they're all names that they're all people you've probably interviewed. Well, some of them at least.
And is this the moment of transition where Alex Salmond ceases to be an active politician?
No, it just means I've got a bit of time on my hands unexpectedly, and therefore I thought I'd put it to good use.
But what are your remaining political ambitions?
Oh, my political ambition is the same one it's always been, and that's to see independence for Scotland. And despite a somewhat setback personally in the election, I mean, the SNP still won a majority of Scottish seats. I mean, the Tory and Labour parties would love to have won a majority of seats across the UK. And you know, I've been in politics 30 years. We started with 3 MPs when I was elected in 1987, yeah. So 35 is not bad. A Scottish Parliament, an SNP First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon. So I still think we're progressing towards that ambition of independence.
But do you want to return either to the Holyrood Parliament or the Commons here, or I don't know, maybe even the House of Lords?
Well, I can rule out the House of Lords. Of the others, well, I think sometimes you just have to let political opportunities develop, and particularly in some very uncertain times. I mean, if I ask you what's the date of the next general election, you don't know, and nobody knows, and therefore.
Well, if you ask the Tories, it's the 5th of May, 2022, I think.
Yeah, but nobody believes that. I mean, you know, I think the Parliament's probably got 2 years to run, maybe just slightly more than that. But we don't know that, so therefore you can't plan in that sense. But no, I'm not finished with politics. As I said in election night, you've not seen the last of my bonnet.
So you would actually hope to be a candidate at the next UK election?
Yeah, look, I fought 10 elections. I've won 9 of them. I'd like to make it 9 out of 11, or 10 out of 11 rather than 9 out of 10. Let's put it that way.
Why do, I mean, you know, there's all this talk about Brexit and people saying that we're tearing ourselves out from our European allies and all the rest of it. Why do you want to not have the option of being a politician down here in London? I mean, why give up on that influence which Scottish politicians like you clearly have?
So what we should do is we should trade the idea of independence and national self-determination for our country, so that a few Scots can be MPs in Westminster. I'm not certain that fully computes.
Well, no, but a lot of people think that Scots punch above their weight in UK national life. Why not go on doing that?
And a lot of people, including myself, think the best state for any nation is to be fully self-governing. And if you can be self-governing as part of a European framework, then that's all the better, because there's a huge difference between the incorporating union still of the United United Kingdom and the confederal union of Europe. So Scotland as a European nation strikes me as the best formulation for the Scottish people. Whether there's individual Scots who are deprived of the opportunity of going to the House of Lords, well, I think that's a sacrifice.
I'm talking about the House of Commons,
or the House of Commons,
or
the House of Commons. Then I think in turn for independence for the nation, I think that'd be a price worth paying, to coin an old phrase.
Alex Salmond, thank you very much indeed for joining us, and good luck on the Edinburgh Fringe.
Thank you.